YouTube was good, YouTube. Hey man, I know I've been gone for a minute, but I've been relocating. I've been moving and stuff, moving around. So, but yo, although everything's been chaotic, like in my life with the moving and all that, a lot of spiritual shit has been happening with me. Like it's insane. So, damn, where do I start, yo? Let me. So I got this book, right? Let me clean it up. I got this book, Encyclopedia of Spirits, right? So I was led to get this book. I wasn't even gonna. I don't know how I even ended up with this book. I went to Barnes and Nobles one day to. I went to get another book, and I ended up with this one. I bought two books, but I've been stuck on this one. It's crazy. So when I got this book, I've been noticing a lot of the spirits. They just wanna like they wanna commune. They wanna like communicate, and it's like they talk to me with messages and through dreams and stuff, and then I'll go and I'll read about them, and and I'll see what they like. Like for example, I'm gonna do Elegua because Elegua has been Elegua has been popping up like crazy. Like it's crazy. Let me get Elegua real quick, and then I'll tell you a story. Look, it's just right here, Legba. But I'm gonna get Elegua. For those of y'all that are into the spirits and they try to communicate with spirits, this is a must have. This is a must have. Just give you another look. Where he at? So about to read about Eshu. Eshu like was the same thing. He comes out like 3 times in this book. But first, so about like 3 weeks ago, I was in Philly, right? So I was in Philly. I was in Coca-Cola. I went to go get gotta get my hair done. I went to go get to pick up a load to pick up a load of soda, and 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 this is not the first time that I had an encounter with a legua, like a physical, cause he can manifest through anybody, through people. You just pop up, but for those that are in tune with the spirit, y'all could see y'all could tell the spirit of an individual, and when they manifest, whoever's manifesting. In voodoo and Dominican, like people get mounted by spirits, but they could just manifest through like subtly through people, cause everybody got a head spirit. So I had just they loaded my truck and everything. I was leaving, so the security guard that works there, he was like, "Hey, young blood, can I get $1?" And I was like, "Sure." Like hold on, brother. Like hold on. I went into the truck because I had like a bunch of dollars and like cramped up in the cup holder because I always got like change and just in case I gotta cross a toll or some shit, I just pull out a few dollars and I just give it to them whatever. So I don't like to deny people money or whatever if I have enough for me. Like if I have $5 and somebody asks me for $1, like I got enough to just what the fuck is $1, right? That's just me. So, so like, I got you, brother. I went in the truck. Boom. I grabbed all the dollars I had, and I just cramped them up, and I gave it to him. He put it in his pocket. He's like, I'll give it back to you when you come back next time. And I was like, nah, brother, no worries. Just pass it along. Like, it ain't nothing. What the fuck? So he smiled. Like, he gave me that smirk. Like he smiled. I was like, oh, I see what's popping. I knew. And then all of a sudden, I got that energy of Elegua. And I left. I just did. And I just started laughing, whatever. Like, it's cool. So, me and my wife been trying to move, right? And we just moved to PA, right? We moved to the mountains in PA. We're like 600 feet elevated above sea level, and it's crazy because when we was in Jersey, it was just like 15 feet above sea level, and the air is so clean up here. It's like it's different, man. It's so different. Like it's crazy how the um the altitude can have a major impact on your health, on your mental health, your respiratory system. Like it's crazy. That's a whole nother topic, yo. But the sweet spot of altitude is 6,000 feet. So my next move is probably gonna be Arizona or some shit. I'm about to dip to Arizona because they high up, they very elevated, and that's good for your heart, your circulation, your mental health. There's not much pollution out here. I just look outside and all I see is mountain. It's crazy. It's so awesome. So so we've been looking for an apartment, right? We was looking for an apartment, and we couldn't find nothing. Every time we couldn't find anything, like a bunch of scams and a bunch of stupid shit. So we was like, fuck it, like I guess whatever it is gonna be, and we was like fuck it. So then we came to PA to see two apartments, right? So we went, we saw one. It wasn't safe for like the children because it was on the third floor, and it had like a balcony and stuff, but it was not safe for the kids. So it was like, nah, scratch that. So we went to see this one we in right now. So it's very big, it's very spacious. The kids running around and all that. So it's dope. It's real dope. So so when we found this apartment, right? I went in the bathroom. I went in the bathroom. And on the mirror in the bathroom, there was a cowrie shell stuck to it. Where is it? This shell right here. This is the cowrie shell that was stuck on the it's the same one that I have. I had one that I always had. I had this one for a while now. Like this one I bought from the botanical spot. I bought this one from the botanical spot, and it's identical to the one that I found. This one I found in this apartment in the bathroom on the mirror. So when I found these shells, that's when Eshu presented himself to me. I had a crazy headache. Y'all can watch the video, the Kari Shell video. So so and yo, when we found this apartment, it was effortlessly. Like we didn't have to give him just the money and that's it. Like, notice some places you gotta give them your fucking birth certificate. You gotta give them a bunch of shit to get your apartment. But this one, it was like it was like sent from heaven. Like it's crazy, yo. So when I saw this, cause I was cleaning the bathroom, right? And I was gonna go wipe the mirror, and then I looked, like I was like, oh shit, this was stuck on it. And I called my wife, and I was like, babe, look what's this? Look what's here. And she was like in awe, like, oh my God, she was like, you gotta offer him something. Like, you gotta give him an offering. And then I went out and I got him a cigar and some rum, and I did my little thing to give him his offering, because it was like sent directly from the spirit, yo. It's crazy what the hell's been going on. So then we was trying to get a moving company, like no, we was trying to rent a moving truck, and we couldn't find a moving truck. We couldn't find a moving truck at all. Everything was booked. Um, it was just a headache. We couldn't book it, son. They needed a bunch of shit, so we couldn't fucking book a truck. So my wife went and found somebody online, and she called them up, and they were like, yeah, sure. You just gotta give us such and such, and we'll take everything and move it for you. We was like, what? Okay. So boom. Long story short, they came. They took all our belongings, and they came and bring it over here. So when me and my wife was on our way to the apartment while the moving company left, they left like an hour before us. So they left, and we was going to meet them over here at the apartment. So I'm driving on the highway and I'm like, babe, look at the back of that truck. It had the Om sign. The Om. For those of y'all that don't know what the Om, it had the Om spray painted on the back of the truck. And I'm like, babe, does that look like the Om sign? She's like, hell yeah, that's the Om sign. That's the Om sign right there. So so I look, I'm like, babe, that looks like the truck that just took our belongings. Like, that looks like the moving truck that took our stuff. Long story short, we get over here to the apartment, and it's the same fucking truck that took our stuff. It had the Om sign. It was like, oh my God, like that's incredible. How the spirits they helping, they manifesting, like more so now than ever. It's like I don't even be on YouTube like that, because it's just so many things that are happening spiritually that I just be like, they're not even gonna believe me. Like, it's fucking incredible. So so we get so yesterday, was it yesterday? Day before yesterday, we went to go buy some food, right? And and I pulled up, in my car in front of the restaurant, and we went to get Jamaican food and stuff. And some white guy, a homeless guy, homeless white guy, blue eyes. He like, I pulled up and I looked, like, I was looking at the restaurant, and he starts waving at me, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Hi, how you doing?" Like, so then he walks off and he comes back to our car, and he's like, "Hey brother, can you spare 85 cents?" He said 85 cents. He could have said $1, $2. Can I get some food to buy? Can I get some money to buy food? Whatever. He said 85 cents. So mind you, in my car, I be having a bunch of change in the glove compartment. I mean, not in the glove compartment, in the cup holder. Every change that I get, so it don't fall off my pocket and they don't fall in between the seats. I just take them off and I just throw them in the cup holder. So I'm like, yeah, brother, I got you, no problem. And he's like, oh, I love your Rude Raksha beads. And I immediately look at him. I was like, oh, thank you. He's like, that's Shiva. He's talking about these beads right here. So I got these beads like a few weeks ago. So he's like, I love your beads, your Rude Raksha beads. That's Shiva. And I'm like, how you know about this? And he's like, oh, I was a monk. I was in California and I was with some monks up in the hill, and he went through his like spiritual process, and I was like, wow, are you serious? And then I started telling him, like, yeah, I saw Shiva, like, I been in their presence in trips that I go on, and his eyes opened up. He was like like he already kind of like knew. So that was a weird encounter. So I went and I'm like the number 85. Like, yeah, I'm doing a video. So so the dude, I'm like the number 85 kept playing in my head. I'm like 85. Why would he ask me for 85 cents? So I went and I looked the meaning of the number 85, like the spiritual meaning of the number 85, and this is what came up, right? Yeah, man. So the spiritual meaning for number 85 is the angel number. It tells you that important changes are in front of you or are happening right now, and that choices about it will benefit your life over time. Angel number 85 is also a message from angels that your economic flow is improving. Accept it with dignity and gratitude. Now I'm gonna check something else out. Wait, let me see. So this scripture kept popping into my head when as soon as I seen this dude, cause my wife was like, that was an angel, cause he didn't even acknowledge my wife. He was just like fixated on me, cause she was sitting on the passenger side and he was on the passenger side right next to her. And he was like, sorry, I don't mean to be too intrusive, this, that, and the third. But he was very respectful and but he wasn't like he was like fixed on me. So Hebrews 13:2, it says, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware. So I like to read multiple versions of the Bible scripture because it gives you a different perspective. So this one, let me just read it. It says, forget not to show love unto strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware. The Berean Study Bible, do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so some people have entertained angels without knowing it. Yeah, so that happened. And like like financially, we're okay, but we can have like I would love an improvement in my economic flow. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody would. So that happened. It's just so many things, and it's crazy because we just prior to that there was a Buddha head like in the park. No, in front of a hotel. And I was driving and I seen the Buddha. And I was like, babe, take me a picture, but like right next to the Buddha. So I went and I took a picture next to the Buddha. And then that happened right after that. Like right 5 minutes right after that. So it's just I've been in the spirit so much. That's right. In the Bible it says Christ says, be ye led of the spirit. Like stay in the spirit. Forget about the physical. Like not forget about it, but like stay more so operate more from the spirit rather than the physical. And that's what I've been doing this whole time. Like I haven't been in communication with family. I haven't been in communication with anybody. I haven't even been on YouTube. Like I just been zoning down and just in the spirit. Like got like candles, doing but lighting incense, doing the spiritual work. Like just that's all I've been doing, and everything has been falling into place effortlessly, like without me even trying. It's incredible how this is happening. So let me read y'all this book, um, the spiritual book. I'm gonna read y'all the issue. So this book is dope because it got the spirits and like I don't know if y'all can see it in like alphabetical order. So it got a bunch of spirits from A to Z. Some even Chinese gods, um, the Hindu gods are in here too. The Greek gods, Sumerian gods, the Orishas are in here too. So let me read Eshu Elegbara, right? Also known as Elegba, Elegua, Legba, Papa Legba, Atibone Legba, origin West Africa. Eshu Elegbara is the master of the crossroads, right? He is the Lord of communications, guardian of gates. He is the owner of all roads, of all roads. It's crazy because when I saw the Hindu gods in my DMT tree, the first one I saw was Ganesha, and we're gonna get into Ganesha in a second. Cause I be conflicted with Ganesha and the Elegua, cause it's like they both guardians of doorways, gates, and crossroads type stuff. So I saw Ganesha first, and behind Ganesha in the top, I saw Elegua, and he was like doing his Orisha thing and trying to get my attention, but I saw him. He had the long robe and he was melanated black, like super dark. We're gonna get into Ganesha in a second. So he is the owner of all roads, paths, and thresholds, literal and metaphoric. Literal and metaphoric. So this dude will manifest in a physical form, and he done manifested at least 4 times in a physical through different avatars, people. I got a book downstairs. It's a red book of Elegua or whatever, and it tells you in that book that there's many issues. There's many issues. So it's not he got different. He's a trickster at that. So he'll manifest in many different forms. One time he manifested me and my wife when my first son was born. I had told y'all this before, but it's on topic, so I might as well just re talk about it. When my first son was born, like I was so attached to him that I didn't want to leave him because he was so little, and my wife wanted to go on a date, to get back to us. So we went to eat, and I wasn't even having a good time, like, cause my mind was so stuck on my son, cause we had left him with a babysitter, and we didn't have a good time, cause I was like, she was like, yo, like, what the fuck, like, we're here, like, so, long story short, when terrible date, so we was going home, and we was crossing the street to get to home, and we hear this old man with a red shirt and like beige pants, smelling like rum. He had dreads. Never seen this man ever, cause we lived in the neighborhood and we seen we know almost everybody that lives in that area. Never seen this man ever, and never saw him after again in that area. So he's singing, coming like he's singing loud. It's like 2 in the morning or some shit, and he's singing man loud. So he gets close to us and he's like, "Hey, the Most High," talking about the Most High. When I heard that, I was like, "Hold up." 'Cause every time I hear somebody say the Most High, it does something to me. So he starts to talk to us about like our relationship and things like that. And I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but he was like, "I know it was Elegua." Now looking back at it, I know it was Elegua. Yo, this shit is crazy. So it tells you right here that that literal and metaphoric, he owns the highway. And where he passed, it was like it was a very busy area, like a car area. It's like an avenue. The roadway is very busy. He owns the roadways. He owns highways, the path to your door, and the road to success. It's crazy. And I just saw a comment that somebody left a comment on the cowrie shell video. It's crazy how divine alignment, divine timing. They were saying that they trying to get in contact with Elegua. I didn't get to read it because I just saw the like a little bit of it, and then I hopped on the video. So you might want to listen to this. Eshu Elegbara is venerated throughout West Africa. It's crazy because when the Israelites came over to the eastern side on the cargo slave ships, they came from West Africa. And I also got a book downstairs, Dominican Voodoo, that it talks about that how the Orishas and Voodoo got syncretized with Christianity, and we had to do that because of the oppressors. They didn't want us to tap into our spirituality, because we could do some things, yo. You could do some things, baby, if you know what you're doing through the spirit. Like you can move the chess pieces through the spirit. Like you don't have to be physical. That's why the Bible says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spiritual principalities in high places. So if you know how to fight spiritually, you're playing chess. If you're doing your fights um physical, you're playing checkers. You still there's another level that you can. So there's a powerful when you're dealing in the spirit. For those that know, you know what I'm talking about. So Eshu Elegbara is venerated throughout West Africa. He is incorporated into different pantheons. He's incorporated into different pantheons. This is why I be feeling like Ganesha and Elegua is one of the same. I don't know. I could be wrong, but if I had to bet, I think they're the same because how 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 the story of Ganesha he's like a he got his head cut off, and and Eshu, like a lot of people worship Elegua with the cement head with the cowrie shells, the coconut. Like if you know the story about that, it's a lot of similarities, you know. But anyways, he is incorporated in different pantheons, and thus different myths are told of him. However, his essence remains the same because he is venerated by different cultures with different languages, different variations of his name exist. Eshu, Elegba, Legba, Eshu, Elegbara. Oh, now it's gonna tell you what I just told you about. Eshu Elegbara journeyed to the Western Hemisphere with enslaved devotees, slave trade, where he emerged as one of the most significant, widely venerated spirits of African diaspora. I always have a fucking problem pronouncing that word. Religions. He is called Papa Legba in Haiti, Elegua in Cuba, and Esu in Brazil. The children of Israel, baby. That's all the children of Israel. Cuba, Brazil, and Haiti. All the children of Israel. He may or may not be the same spirit as Palos Lucero. Eshu opens and closes roads. He is invoked to remove obstacles from your path and to obstruct enemies and misfortune so they can't reach you. See how you can do some things if you know what you're doing? He is an intense trickster, but also a force of justice. Eshu is a lover of truth. So here's the thing, cause a lot of people be like, oh, y'all be practicing Santeria and voodoo and this, that, and the third. That that you should be only into Jesus Christ and God, this, that, and the third. Eshu Elegua is El Niño de Antorcha. That's the divine child. That's Christ. That's the baby Jesus. Syncretized. So so it tells you here, Eshu is a lover of truth. He is an intense trickster, but also forces for justice. That's why I be telling y'all, no space. It depends where your fucking phone. That's why I be telling y'all, it depends on where your energy is. If your energy is, if you're in wickedness, you're gonna deal with the intense trickery. But you still will deal with the trickery until you finally pinpoint and know what's really going on and how his energy works. If not, a lot of people get scared of Elegua because of the intense trickery. He didn't trick me. He didn't fucking kick my ass a few times. But as long as you've been righteous and you've been doing the right thing, he loves truth. He loves truth because he's the judge. He's the divine judge. Christ is the he judges the nations. He judges the nations. And yeah, Christ comes in many forms. I can get into many different versions of Christ, and that's trickery in itself. So, anyways, Eshu Elegbara mediates. Look, Eshu Elegbara mediates between people and other spirits. So he's the first. Let me just tell you. Traditionally, when one wishes to communicate with other spirits, one first asks Legba to open the door. He is the first spirit invoked in Africa and African diaspora. Spiritual ceremonies. Legba opens the gate for the other spirits to follow. Damn, so that's probably what happened. Cause when I saw the gods, they were like talking, chilling, just like regular people, just chilling. And when I saw them, they saw me. They just rushed me. So I guess that door opened, that veil opened within my mind, and they just rushed me. Ganesha, along with the other Indian deities. Papa Legba may be invoked when you stand at any crossroads and need for direction. If you are literally lost and don't know which way to turn, call his name and wait for a sign. Invoke him when spiritual communications are not going well. Invoke him by crossing bones at a crossroads or by leaving a small cairn, cairn, cairn of bones for him there. I don't, I don't do no bones or none of that weird stuff, but some do. I don't do that. Theoretically, there is nothing Papa Legba cannot do. He enables the lame to walk. Doesn't that sound like Christ? He enables the lame to walk. He transforms bad luck into good, and vice versa. Eshu Elegbara blesses devotees with the gift of manual dexterity. Thus, he is beloved by musicians as well as gamblers, dice players, and practitioners. It's funny because my son found a red dice the other day outside, and he's been with the dice the whole time. The other day, he lost the dice and he started crying, and I had to go back to to I think Walmart, whatever, or Target, and I had to buy him some dice. Dice players and practitioners of three-card Monte. Legends of bluesmen like Robert Johnson receiving extraordinary musical talents at the crossroads may derive from vestigial memories of Papa Legba. All one must do to all one must do to receive these blessings is go to the crossroad and ask. There is no selling of souls involved. At worst, Elegua will ignore you, and you're left where you stand, where you started. Bring your instrument to be blessed, guitar, dice, whatever. Eshu Elegbara is something of a practical joker. He likes word games. Be careful how you phrase your requests and cultivate a sense of humor. He is an easily pleased spirit and not particularly avaricious. A glass of rum once a week and a cigar or some candy on special occasions keep him content. He is among the most powerful and proactive of spirits. Don't ask for help unless you're ready for a change. Facts, cause once them doors close and once the others open, you're ready to go. You're gonna be ready to move. He is syncretized to the holy child of Atocha. That's who we be. That's the baby Jesus. The anima sola. It's funny because Carl Jung talk about the anima sola. Saint Anthony and Saint Peter, another guardian of gates. See how all is one, but it's just different aspect of that same energy. Manifestations. He may have over 121 paths and manifestations. It's crazy. His original form in Africa was as a handsome, virile young man. This manifestation did not survive the Middle Passage in the Western Hemisphere. Eshu Elegbara may manifest as a merry, trickery little boy, or as an old man limping man, weary from walking the world. He may dress in Masonic garb. Iconography in Africa. He is sometimes venerated in the form of a phallus. His iconic image is a ritual prepared concrete head with cowrie shell eyes and ears. Statues, the Holy Child of Atocha, are usually to represent him. His image is usually kept near or behind front doors. Near or behind front doors. Because he's the guardian of, gates. Attributes. Key. So here's the thing. Story about me. My grandmother, I'll get a lot of nosebleeds. I'm always like I'll bleed from my nose since little, and she had gave me one of those like a little key. I gave it to my brother-in-law. His name is. I gave it to my brother-in-law because my wife gave me one. So, but the original one that my grandma gave me, I had lost it because I was a child. So, but she gave me like a spiritual, like everything is spiritual. So she gave me this key. It's like those old keys, those those keys to open those old back in the day locks, those long like skeleton keys type. I think that's the name of it. And every time I'll bleed, she'll tell me to put put the key on my forehead, and it'll stop my bleeding. So when I was born, I had like